History usually changes slowly. Empires rise over centuries, traditions harden over generations, and societies resist sudden shifts. But every once in a while, change doesn't wait. It arrives fast, unexpected, and irreversible. In the heart of the Middle East lies a kingdom shaped by desert winds, deep faith, and vast oil reserves. For decades, Saudi Arabia followed a familiar path. Stability over openness, tradition over experimentation. Silence over debate. Then, almost without warning, the rhythm began to change. Lights filled the cities. Music echoed through arenas. Cinemas reopened. Women took the driver's seat. At the same time, power tightened at the top. Criticism faded from public space, and decisions came from a single center. Saudi Arabia was no longer moving slowly. It was sprinting toward an uncertain future. At the center of this transformation stands Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. To his supporters, he is a visionary reformer, breaking decades of stagnation. To his critics, he is an authoritarian ruler consolidating power while reshaping society on his own terms. Either way, his influence is impossible to ignore. How did one of the world's most conservative nations decide to change so fast? And where is it headed? For most of its modern history, Saudi Arabia relied on one resource: oil. Oil wasn't just an export, it was the backbone of the state. It funded development, ensured loyalty, and created an unspoken agreement between rulers and citizens. The government provided for its people, and in return, the people complied with its rules. It was a stable, predictable system. But beyond the kingdom's borders, the world began to move on. Renewable energy, electric vehicles, and global pressure to address climate change signaled the future where oil would no longer guarantee security or prosperity. Mohammed bin Salman understood this danger early on. He saw that the foundation his country was built on was starting to crack. There was another, more immediate pressure point. Demographics. Saudi Arabia's population is incredibly young. Nearly 2/3 are under the age of 30. They grew up connected to the world through the internet, aware of life beyond their borders, and impatient with limits that felt outdated. For this generation, oil wealth alone was not enough. They wanted opportunity, a sense of identity, and a future that felt alive and full of possibility. This urgency became Vision 2030, a sweeping master plan to dismantle the kingdom as dependence on oil and rebuild its economy from the ground up. Suddenly, tourism, entertainment, technology, and global investment were no longer optional ideas. They were necessities for survival. Vision 2030 promised jobs, social openness, and a new place for Saudi Arabia in a rapidly changing world. And soon, the change became visible to everyone. The silence that once defined public spaces was replaced by the sound of concerts. International sports events, from wrestling to Formula One, brought global attention. Cafes, cinemas, and cultural festivals became a normal part of everyday life. Most strikingly, women entered spaces once completely closed to them. They began driving, working in new sectors, and participating in public life with a freedom unimaginable just a few years earlier. For many Saudis, especially the young, these shifts felt like the lifting of a long-held weight, a breath of fresh air. But this reform came with clear boundaries. While social life opened up, the political space did not. Criticism of the leadership remained as risky as ever. Activists who had long demanded these very reforms, and even deeper ones, found themselves detained or silenced. The message from the top was clear. Change will happen, but only on our terms. Modernization would not include political challenge or dissent. Nowhere is the ambition of this new Saudi Arabia more dramatic than in the desert near the Red Sea. There, a project called Neom is taking shape, or at least, its idea is, it's pitched as a futuristic megacity, designed to break every traditional rule of urban living. The most famous part is the line, a city built as a single, 170-kilometer-long skyscraper cutting through the desert. No cars, no emissions. Artificial intelligence managing everything. It's a concept straight out of science fiction. Supporters see Neom as a visionary symbol of Saudi Arabia's confidence and innovation. They see it as a declaration that the future will be built here. Critics, however, see it as an unrealistic, wildly expensive project detached from social realities. Questions remain about the displacement of local communities, the environmental impact, and the sheer feasibility of it all. Yet, construction continues. In this new Saudi Arabia, doubt and criticism rarely slow momentum. Religion, once the most powerful force shaping public life, has also been the ultra-conservative religious establishment, which for decades enforced strict rules on everything from clothing to music, has lost much of its authority. The state now controls the tone of faith, allowing for more cultural expression while maintaining its overall control. For some, this feels like liberation and progress. For others, it's a concerning erosion of the kingdom's identity. On the global stage, Saudi Arabia is no longer content to remain quietly in the background. It's investing billions in international sports like soccer and golf, hosting massive events, and positioning itself as a key diplomatic player in the region and beyond. These moves bring influence and visibility, but they also bring intense scrutiny. Every reform is examined under a microscope, every contradiction, like promoting social freedom while cracking down on political speeches, amplified for the world to see. Everything under Mohammed bin Salman moves quickly. Policies shift overnight. Mega projects scale at record speed. Supporters argue that this speed is necessary to break through decades of old systems and bureaucracy. But critics warn that this pace leaves little room for correction, for accountability, or for public consent. In a system where all power is concentrated at the very top, even small mistakes can carry heavy consequences. So, Saudi Arabia today exists between two worlds: tradition and transformation, openness and control, opportunity and fear. You see glass towers rising from ancient sand. You see young Saudis dancing at concerts, while knowing that political silence is still the expected norm. This transformation is not just economic or cultural. It's a complete rewriting of the social contract. It's a high-stakes gamble that rapid, top-down modernization can coexist with centralized, absolute authority. Whether that delicate balance can last remains the great, unanswered question. Saudi Arabia has entered a phase from which there is no easy return. The doors to the outside world have opened, but they are still carefully guarded. Personal freedom has expanded, but only along pre-approved paths. For the kingdom's young generation, this era is filled with immense promise and possibility. For critics at home and abroad, it raises profound questions about rights, justice, and the nature of power. Mohammed bin Salman has forced change where caution once ruled. Whether history will remember him as a visionary leader who saved his country from decline, or as a warning about the dangers of unchecked power, is a question that is still unfolding before our very eyes. As the sun sets over the desert and the city lights of Riyadh and Jeddah begin to glow, Saudi Arabia stands unfinished. It is a nation in constant motion, driven by breathtaking ambition, shaped by unwavering control, and watched closely by the entire world. The future of the kingdom is no longer hidden in the sand. It is being built in real time, and the final outcome has yet to be decided. Thanks for watching. If you found this interesting, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more stories shaping our world. See you next time.